Yes, this video does need a trigger warning. NFL playoff predictions. Today, you guys wanted to see it. Today, we predict all the way from the wild card round to Super Bowl 55. You will get my Super Bowl prediction today, and for each and every matchup, I'll also give you my score prediction. Number one rule for today's video, don't be a baby. Like, don't get mad that I don't pick your favorite team to win the Super Bowl. I can only pick one, so like, bite me. Leave your predictions for the playoffs in the comment section below. If you guys want to see me react to my preseason NFL predictions and to see how stupid I am, 5,000 likes and we'll make that happen. And disclaimer as well, I'm a moron, so like, don't take everything I say seriously. With that said, time to trigger some people. Thank God for this handy dandy website because it makes everything look more interesting. And unfortunately, we are going to go in the order that they present to us, which means I have to go ahead and predict my Titans versus the Baltimore Ravens. 4 seed versus 5 seed. And this one's so tough. Yeah, I might spend a few minutes extra on this one because it's my Titans. And literally, let me tell you this. So last year, when I did the playoff prediction video, I didn't want to be a homer. I predicted us to beat the Patriots because I genuinely thought that was going to be the case. And I genuinely thought with the momentum we had a chance to beat the Ravens. And then I was going to predict for us to lose to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But I felt like everybody was going to call me a homer too much. So I predicted us to lose to the Ravens last year in the divisional round. Now, this year, I'm trying to be smart about this. I'm trying to take everything into account here. The facts are, we've played the Ravens away from home twice in the past 365 days, and both times we're over a 5-point underdog. We beat them both times. Now, the facts are as well, our defense is atrocious, one of the worst in the NFL. And the Ravens are hot. The thing is, they were hot last year. We beat them twice in a row away from home. And the bad thing is, they're going to want to come out for blood. Like, they're going to want to destroy us. They've lost to us twice. That whole thing going on with us, like crowding the logo for whatever reason pregame, maybe that will be some bulletin board material. My brain is telling me, just with how bad our defense is, we're not going to luck up against Lamar Jackson third time when they're as hot as they are, and our defense is as bad as they are, but our offense is so good, and this is the one prediction I'm going to go with my heart. Like, how can you go against the Titans again when they've beat the Ravens twice in the past 365 days? It's so weird. Our defense plays better against the Ravens than any other team that we've played this season. It's weird. I don't know what it is, but whatever we do, we have found a formula to contain Lamar Jackson as much as possible. Our offense is insane. Nobody can stop it. This might be a homer prediction, but it's been twice in the past 365 days I've picked against the Titans publicly. Even though the first time I thought they were going to win, I genuinely thought they were going to lose this year in the regular season. And I'm not going to make that mistake again. I'm going to try to get this correct. I am going to go Titans and Derrick Henry. You never predict against them in the postseason with Derrick Henry running the ball 35 times a game. I'm going to go Titans in a very, very, very close game. 35-21. First selection. Done. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns, the 6 seed at the 3 seed Pittsburgh Steelers. Bunch of things to take into account here. First, playoff appearance for the Browns since 2002. They haven't won a playoff game in almost 30 years now. Maybe it was like 25 or 26 years, 24 years, something like that. Now, what is like the best way to make predictions? Using logic and all the the factors you have presented to you as possible. What's a fact? These two teams literally played each other last week. The Browns played the game at home and barely beat the Steelers by 3 without Big Ben at quarterback. Now, I don't think that's as big of a deal as a lot of people were making it out to be because Big Ben has not been very good down the stretch this year. But it's him in the playoffs. They literally just played last week away from home, the Steelers did. Barely lost with a backup quarterback. I just don't see how you can pick the Browns to win this game when they barely beat the backup last week. I just don't know how. Like, great story, and for all I know, momentum going into the playoffs, finally clinching the playoff spot, can make a big difference, but I just can't logically pick against the Steelers to lose this game. With as bad as they played the last, 2 months of the season, I cannot predict against them when they just lost with their backup quarterback against a team that was going all out to make the playoffs for the first time in 20 years. They only lost by 3. I can't predict against them. So yes, I'm going to go Pittsburgh at home against the Browns. I have a 24-21 win. I think it's going to be a little bit lower score than what people think. I think it's going to be very, very close, but I am going to go Steelers with a field goal win, 24-21. I think Big Ben struggles again, but not bad enough to lose. Last but not least, the 7 seed Colts traveling to Buffalo to take on the 2 seed Buffalo Bills, and arguably the hottest team in all of the NFL. And what does this matchup remind me of? it kind of hits close to home. Reminds me of last year, a Tennessee Titan team barely squeaking their way into the playoffs, having to go up against a team everybody argued, I believe they were the 2 seed as well, as the hottest team in the league, going into the game as potentially even Super Bowl favorites for how well you played the past month and a half. Really reminds me that Titans-Ravens game last year, because the Bills, arguably the hottest team in the league. I think they're the second Super Bowl favorite right now to win Super Bowl, right behind the Chiefs. So, is this going to end up like last year? Colts having to go away from home just like the Titans did against the Ravens. Pretty much, in my opinion, very, in terms of logistics, similar matchup. But the difference here is I just don't trust Phillip Rivers. I just don't. He played, like, it's so weird how he always starts games off well, and in the second half he dwindles off. So, like, the Bills, like, I know I've kind of made it a little bit anticlimactic, but I think the Bills win. Like, Josh Allen right now is unstoppable, and I don't think I can pick against the Bills until somebody proves me wrong. Like, even a team like the Chiefs are a little bit easier to pick against just because they've shown they're human in the past month or so, almost lost to the Falcons. The Bills haven't shown that they're human in like 2 months, but still, I'm gonna go Bills over the Colts. Biggest win yet. I'm gonna go 34-21 Bills over the Colts. Now on to the NFC. Number 5 Buccaneers and Tom Brady traveling to the Washington football team, a 4 seed, a 7-win team hosting Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and the Buccaneers. Mental scenes here, like, shout out to Ron Rivera and the football team. Everything they face this year, still making the playoffs, but there's just no way. Their defense is great. There's just no way Tom Brady loses to a 7-win team in the first round of the playoffs when everybody doubted him before the season. Through 40 touchdowns. Like, 40 touchdowns is less than his 8, which is insane. He's 42. What an old man. He's going to win again. Yeah, it might make a little difference if Mike Evans is out for this game. He got injured, but it's not supposed to be that serious, but he still might be out for a week or so. But I still think they win. Like, they just don't have enough offensive firepower to beat the Buccaneers. Like, once again, valiant effort to the football team. With all that said, I think that ends up being a pretty comfortable victory for Tom Brady and the Bucs. I'm going to go 28-14. Brady over the football team. Next, we have a pretty tough one. Number 6, Rams going to Seattle, take on number 3 Seattle Seahawks. And these teams obviously have played twice this year. They've split the series this year, and it's like interesting because like these teams are so weird. Seahawks at the start of the year, offense literally unstoppable, defense horrific. Now the past month and a half, maybe 2 months, offense has been very suspect, and the defense has gotten a lot better. I wouldn't say incredible, but has gotten a lot better. So, like, what the heck? Like, what happened to Russell Wilson in this offense? Like, DK was unstoppable. Tyler Lockett was unstoppable. Now, Tyler Lockett had a big game last week, week 17. Are they really as good as what a 3 seed should be? I don't think so. But I don't see the Rams winning this game, especially in Seattle. Just especially because of the questions around Jared Goff. Jared Goff might even not play. Like, this is going in with the presumption that he is going to play. But even if he does, obviously, he's not going to be 100%. So, Rams coming in not 100%. They are kind of stinky. Like, this is a team that lost to the Jets now. Like, I know they have beat the Seahawks this season, but this is a team that's just, I don't think they have enough to beat the Seahawks. I think the offense is going to get going a little bit better when it's been the past month for the Seahawks in the playoffs. So it's just Russell Wilson. Never doubt him in the playoffs. So I'm going to go Seahawks, but a little bit closer than what some people might think. I'm going to go 24-17 Seahawks over the Rams. Next, we have the 7 seed Chicago Bears versus the number 2 seed New Orleans Saints. I'm just not going to count out Drew Brees. Now, once again, this is going into this prediction with the assumption that the running backs are going to be back. Like we all know, Alvin Kamara and some other running backs, they tested positive for COVID, so they might not play. I don't know. Michael Thomas as well, he's supposed to come back when he got put on IR. The whole plan was for him to rest like the last 3 weeks of the season, then come back 100% for the playoffs. So I'm assuming this is a full force Saints team coming into this playoff game against the Bears at home with Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, and Michael Thomas all healthy and all ready to go. Even if they don't, I still think, like, especially with what they did to the Panthers, I still think there's a chance, like, especially with the defense, like, Mitch Trubisky, I know he's played well the last month and a half, but it's still the Saints defense versus Mitch Trubisky in a playoff game in New Orleans. So even without those star players, I think the Saints still find a way to squeak out a very, very close, like, 17-14 win. but with the full force offense, even though like Michael Thomas hasn't really produced much this season when healthy, and obviously Alvin Kamara has been incredible the past month or so, and they might be a little rusty, you know, not playing last week, and Michael Thomas without playing for a month, but I still think whatever happens, happens, and I think the Saints win regardless of the circumstances. But still, shout out to the Bears, finishing the season strong, making the playoffs last week of the season. Mitch Trubisky might actually come back next season, but I'm still gonna go Saints if they are full force, 28-17 as they advance into the divisional round over the Chicago Bears. Now, like, I love this screen so much, I think I can simply click next, and boom, the next matchup. First matchup on the screen, we have the Buffalo Bills, number 2 seed, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. And once again, I just think the Steelers, like, I wouldn't say they're a bad team, obviously. They're number freaking 3 seed, but they just have not played in the past month and a half as well as they did in the first half of the season. Obviously, these two teams have already played, and the Bills won pretty comfortably with a 25-16. I expect the Steelers to play better in this game than what they did previously against the Bills and what they have played the past month or so. But, like, like, the only way I think the Steelers can win this game is if they click on all cylinders like they have maybe 2 or 3 games of the season. Even when they started 10-0, a lot of those games, they really didn't click on all cylinders. So I think for them to be able to beat the Bills, they're going to have to play their best football. And I just don't know with how they play. I don't feel confident in saying they have a great chance to play their best football. With how the Bills have been playing as well, as hard as they've been, I think they win this game. I would say pretty comfortably, too. I have a... what do I have? Where's the thing at? 35-21 Bills win of the Steelers. I don't even think the Steelers defense right now can stop the Bills. Like, I just don't think they can. Oh, man, a rematch of last year. Number 4 Titans, my Tennessee Tootin' Titans versus the number 1 seed Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we got to remember once again last year what happened. The Titans go into a divisional round game away from home, the assumed Super Bowl favorite. I don't necessarily know if the Ravens were the assumed Super Bowl favorite last year, but they were right up there, maybe the second Super Bowl favorite. Like, one of the hottest teams in the league. It sets up perfectly. The Titans will be so motivated to get a rematch from last year, but it just can't happen. Like, I think they could potentially keep it close, although in this prediction, I'm not gonna keep it close, but our defense is just so bad. Like, our defense is worse against, like, quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, quarterbacks that know how to extend the play and throw the ball downfield, where our defense literally might give up 75 points. 75, maybe 80 points to the Chiefs. Like, they'll be able to score at will, and I think we could maybe keep up with a quarter or two with the Chiefs, but, like, the Chiefs are going to take a big lead, and that's when we lose games. If you look at all the games we've lost this year, even the game we lost to Joe Burrow and the Bengals, we went behind, like, by a lot of points, and our offense is just not built to come from behind. Every single game, like, it's just not a thing, and the Chiefs are definitely going to outscore us for a quarter or two. We might have a little bit of fight in this, but there's just no way we come back. Right? There's just no way. Our defense is just absolutely horrific, which is hilarious because our third down percentage on defense is, I think, the worst by 3%. I think we give up 52% of third down conversions, and it's the worst in the past, I think, 25, maybe 30 years by 3%. The second worst is like 48%, and the funny thing is, on that top 10, the worst third down defenses in the past 30 years, no team's won more than 5 games. We've won 11, so that's incredible. That shows you how good our offense is, and also I think one thing that is kind of forgotten about this Titans team is we create so many turnovers, and also we don't turn the ball over on offense. So that's why I think you've seen a team like us with a horrific defense, one of the worst defenses of the past 30 years, win 11 games, but Patrick Mahomes just isn't somebody you can count on to turn the football over. It's just not a thing. I think we get beat pretty bad. I'm going to go 45-28 Chiefs, grab the dub. And once again, our freaking... oh, I wish that was the case. The Seattle Seahawks traveling to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. I think this is going to be such a close game, man, especially in New Orleans. You never count out Russell Wilson. I know Drew Brees has been lackluster, and this is definitely going to be his last run. And let me tell you something, too. When I made my Super Bowl prediction, what year was it that Ray Lewis and the Ravens won the Super Bowl? Whatever year it was. When I made my prediction video for that year, all the playoffs is what team gets hot at the right time. You could be a 7 seed, get hot at the right time, and win the Super Bowl. Like, it's just a possibility. And I just knew, like, the hysteria around and the motivation around, oh, this is Ray Lewis's last hurrah. I predict the Ravens to win that just off of that entire storyline, and I was correct. So I feel like there's a little bit of that in my Saints predictions right now, because this is more than likely going to be Drew Brees' last season. But not only that, this team is good, and you've seen that they're good. They get a 2 seed, almost got a 1 seed, and they've played this well without their best playmaker, or arguably their best playmaker. After, like last year, obviously he was the best playmaker, but some people might say some different things this year about Michael Thomas, but he'll be back and healthy at this point. Obviously, if Alvin Kamara and the running backs aren't back in the first week of the playoffs, they'll be back this week, which with how these teams have been playing, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a lot lower score than what a lot of people think. Like, you think Russell Wilson, Drew Brees in the playoffs, you think like a 35-31 type game, but I think it's going to be a lot lower scoring than what you would think. I'm going to give the Saints the win with the home field advantage, with this being Drew Brees' last postseason run. But close. Very, very close. 24-21. Oh, this is a tough one, dudes. Tom Brady traveling to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers. 5 seed versus 1 seed. What the heck happens? Now, when you make predictions like this, like I said, you try to limit it to as few factors as possible to make an accurate position. Use logic everywhere possible. Now, I know teams throughout history and every single year are different than what they were at the beginning of the season than what they were at the end of the season. Now, what is the one common thing we have here? They played each other already. They played each other, in Tampa Bay earlier in the season, and the Buccaneers absolutely demolished them 38-10. And that was when Tom Brady wasn't really he hadn't really got his groove yet. So you see where this is going. The Bucs were in that backfield the entire game. The Packers couldn't do anything that game. And they're now without left tackle David Bakhtiari for the first time this season. He's gone. Protecting who's going to be MVP Aaron Rodgers' blind side. Like, they were already destroyed the first time. They lose, arguably, it is their best offensive lineman. This is just my gut feeling. And I genuinely believe if this was any other team in the playoffs, even taking the AFC teams, I think any other team out there, even the Chiefs, away from home at Lambeau Field in this setting, I think the Packers win this game. But I genuinely believe the only team that can beat the Packers at Lambeau is Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Like, don't get that mad at me, Packer fans. How are they going to be coming off that bye week without David Bakhtiari? I'm going to go Buccaneers in a freaking close game. What do I have here? Hello? 35-31, a high scoring game. We're giving them 21 more points than what they scored the first time these teams played without their best lineman, David Bakhtiari. So I'm giving them some points, but I just think it's Tom Brady in the playoffs when everybody's going to be doubting him. I'm going Buccaneers, the biggest upset yet. As I know, that's already going to get this video 1,000 dislikes. Next, a big one, my dudes. AFC Championship game, Bills versus Chiefs. This is going to be an insane freaking game right here. Two teams, the Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champs. Nobody can stop their offense aside from the Falcons, which is weird. Bills and Josh Allen, I've already mentioned them a million times, how hot they've been, but I can't pick against the Chiefs. I just can't. This is really a toss-up. Genuinely, this could go either way, but I'm just going to go experience in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, home field advantage, and the Bills could very easily win this game. But I'm just going to toss up game at home, give it to the guy with experience. Very, very, very close. I don't even know what else to say. This is such a toss-up. Mahomes over the Bills in a very high-scoring game, 38-35 for, oh, what do you know? The 1 seed advances to the Super Bowl. Next, we have Buccaneers, Saints, NFC Championship game, Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, two 40-plus-year-olds at the starting quarterback position in the Conference Championship game. Now, number one, already mentioned the whole entire ordeal. Oh, it's Drew Brees' last season. Let's get behind him. And number two, they've played each other already this year. 2 times. And what's happened in that game? The Saints have destroyed them both freaking times. So why would that be any different now? They're at home, everything behind the Saints, home field advantage, the Drew Brees ordeal, the storyline, and the fact that they've already shown they can beat them twice by a lot of points. So that's just simple. I just don't get when you get into situations like this. I know anything can happen on a daily basis, in terms of NFL. But what's the reasoning behind picking against a team that has already beat the opposing team twice by a lot of points in that season? So I'm going Saints. So yes, we are going to go New Orleans Saints versus Kansas City Chiefs. I believe they were my Super Bowl prediction before the season started. I know these two teams have played once and it was extremely, extremely close. I'm kind of being hypocritical to my last point, but I'm just not picking against Drew Brees in his final game as an NFL player. I'm just not doing it. We're going to go Saints, Super Bowl champions, 24-21. 21. And also, in case I get all the score predictions right and I become a mastermind and ESPN hires me, I did go Saints over the Bucks 27-21 in the NFC Championship game. But yeah, Drew Brees 24-21 over the Chiefs. Mental scenes. Bring on the dislikes.